Hey, Faithful, it's Jason from Voice of a Niner Faithful coming at you on Easter Sunday. Happy Easter to all of you who celebrate, and for all of you who don't, consider this celebrating the weekend before the draft. 4 days from now, Thursday, we'll be picking spot 11. Pick 11, however you want to say it. I think we're going to keep that spot. And today I'm going to be talking about my one and only mock draft. So let's just get right on into it, get it out of the way, and we'll be ready for the draft on Thursday, which, by the way, I will be attending. So maybe if someone's there, you'll see me there. All right, let's get to it. My first pick, Jalen Walker. Jalen Walker, edge. Some say he's linebacker. Either way, I think this is a perfect fit for the 49ers. I think it's kind of like going the way we did with the 2019 draft, getting Nick Bosa. I think he would be an excellent side with Nick Bosa, one on one side, one on the other. Let him swap places. He can cover at linebacker if needed. He's very versatile. I think his stats are incredible. He was last year alone, third team Associated Press All-American, second team All-SEC. He won the Butkus Award, the nation's top linebacker award. He led the team with 10 and a half tackles for loss. That's awesome. Tied the team lead with 6.5 sacks. Played in all 14 games with 11 starts. Played on punt coverage even. This guy has it all. I think he would be an awesome addition to the 49ers, and this is who I think will be our first pick in the draft. A draft note, my picks here are based if we don't do any trades whatsoever. So I'm picking all 11, where they're at, and who I think that we'll pick without doing any trades. I have a feeling we are going to end up doing trades, but this is based on not doing any trades whatsoever. So my second pick is going to be Josh Conerly, offensive tackle from the Ducks. Now, I think Josh Conerly is an awesome fit for our offensive tackle spot on the right side. Maybe as he learns, he'll switch over to left whenever Williams decides he's going to retire. But his stats, he was also a third team Associated Press All-American. He was first team All Big Ten, and he was on the team. Oregon was the finalist for the Joe Moore Award, nation's top offensive line. So you can't beat that. I mean, except being the winner, but finalist is perfect. I'm okay with that. This guy has protected his quarterback so good, it isn't funny. And the other thing, he started all 14 games at left tackle. I think you start him at right tackle for us, and like I said, when Trent decides he's going to retire, you swing him over to the left, ready-made. I think he would be an awesome addition. Of course, I'm going to say that to all of these picks, but he really will be an awesome addition if we can get him. So, moving on to round 3, pick 75. My pick, Jalen Knoll, wide receiver out of the Iowa State Cyclones. Now, I think this is kind of the surprise pick. I don't think anyone's thinking that we're going to pick a wide receiver in the third round. I think he's going to be the surprise take. I think he's an awesome receiver. I'm going to bring up his stats on my other screen here. he had just last year. Oh no, that was last year. 1,194 receiving yards, 80 receptions, 8 touchdowns, an average of 14.9 yards per reception. That is awesome. Add him to our wide receiver room with Ayuk, with Juwan Jennings, with Ricky Pearsall. It's just going to make our wide receiver room better. And I think that would be a perfect spot to pick him up in the 3rd round. It's possible he drops down to our other 3rd round pick at 100, but I think we're going to get him here. And I think he's going to do many great things, no matter what team he goes to, but I certainly hope he goes to us. Now my pick 100, still in the 3rd round. This is where it's going to get more fun. Omar Norman Lott. Defensive tackle. I'm sure we've all heard about him. And hey, who can go against the name Lott? So he's had, in 2024, total tackles 18, 8 solo, 10 assists, 4 sacks. This guy is a monster. And we definitely need to build up the defensive tackle line, and this guy is going to be it. He can stop the run, and he can attack the offensive line and get in there and get the quarterback. I think Norman Lott would be the perfect fit to that defensive line, and I think Robert Saleh would agree. So, moving on. I think round 4, pick 113, we're picking Ty Hamilton, defensive tackle. Now, yes, that's 2 defensive tackles in a row, but I think we need them. I think everyone here would agree that we need them. And let me get his stats up in my other screen here. Total tackles, 51 tackles, 14 solo. This is just last year. 37 assists, 3.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. This guy does it all just like Lott does. With those 2, can you imagine those 2? Then Walker on one side, Bosa on the other. I think this is a start. This would be a perfect start to a dominant defensive line. Front 4. Be perfect. All right, so our other 4th round pick number 138, is going to be Jackson Slayer. Now, the reason I like Jackson Slayer is, yes, he's a guard, but he can also be a center. And I think the versatility there could mean that he could end up in a year or two replacing our center right now. And even if he doesn't, he can still play guard. He's versatile enough to go to both. Now, let me see if I got it. Here we go. I had to dig up his stats. I have so many windows open, it isn't funny. His combine numbers were really good. He was first team Associated Press FCS All-American, first team All-Big Sky, started 9 games at left guard. He missed the end of the season due to injury, but that's why I think we can pick him up at the end of the 4th round. I think it's worthwhile to try to get him going. I think he's going to be a good guard. I don't think his injury is going to cause any major issue. he gets out of his stance and into action on skip pulls. Yes, I'm reading a little bit of what I have up on my screen. Upper body power, strong hands. Some of his minor weaknesses, he can be impatient and lunge with his punches, come forward a little too quick. But I think that can be coached out of him. And he has trouble turning heads up blocks out of the gap. Again, that can be coached out. So I still think just because of how versatile he can be going from either guard to center or back, I think he's worthwhile to try to get at the end of the fourth round. So now entering the fifth round, pick 147 is going to be Kane Mercado. Now, Kane Mercado, as you can see, is a linebacker. Get his stats up here. He had, just last year, 72 tackles, 50 of them solo. 50 solo tackles. 22 assists. He had a sack and a half, 3 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. 2 interceptions. And every year that he's played from 2021 through 2024, he's just gotten better. And with our coaching staff, especially with Saleh, I think he's just going to continue to grow, and he's going to be one of our better linebackers if we pick him up. And I think we should. Now, going after Kane, just 13 picks later at pick 160 in the fifth round, is going to be a guy named R.J. Harvey. Now, R.J. Harvey, running back out of UCF Knights, I think he's going to be a sneaky steal. I think we should get him just because of his running ability. Last year alone, 232 carries, 1,577 yards. He averaged 6.8 yards a carry, 22 touchdowns. I think this guy's he's a steal if we can get him in the fifth round. He would make our running back room so awesome. I think he can learn from CMC, and then when CMC finally retires, it could be him taking over. It could be. This guy just is awesome. He had an 80-yard rushing touchdown. You just can't. It's hard to replicate that, and I can see him slipping to the fifth round because of other prospects that are out there. I think he's going to be a steal, and I think we should pick him up. Now, after Mr. Harvey, we don't have a sixth round pick at the moment. Again, this is all based on we're not doing any trades. So, our first pick in the seventh round, 227, is going to be, I'm sure we've all heard this guy's name because it's been out there a lot, Mason Graham. Yes, I feel he's going to drop to the seventh round. It's just a feeling I have, I guess. But if he does, he's going to be ours. Just that simple. Another defensive tackle. We definitely need that extra push there. I think this is a solid kind of guy. And my numbers on him are, like I said, I have so many windows open trying to find his numbers. Oh, there he is. 46 tackles, 24 solo, 22 assists, 3.5 sacks. It's hard to beat that, especially for a seventh round pick. It's possible he goes in the sixth round or even lower fifth round, but I think he's going to drop to the beginning of the seventh round, and I think we're going to grab him there. And I think he can be coached up to be a really great defensive tackle. Moving on to pick number 249 is a gentleman by the name of Jalen Smith, cornerback, from the Trojans. Let me get his numbers up here real quick. 58 total tackles, 39 solo, 19 assists, 2 interceptions. I think he's a very easy coachable cornerback and could easily slip into any position. I think he's very versatile. He can try slot. He can try outside, inside. And I think he's going to be another sneaky steal in the 7th round. And last but not least, Cody Simon, linebacker for the Buckeyes. Now, Cody, 112 total tackles, 51 solo, 61 assists, 7 sacks. Now, you might say, wow, that seems like he's going to be picked a little earlier than that. But I don't know. I just see him slipping that far because it's everyone's going to be picking other things. I think part of his weaknesses are why he's dropping. Why I think he's going to drop to the 7th round. Mainly, it's his below average chase speed. But I think that's something that he can get coached up on. His short arms, possible issues with tackle slippage, but if he's not centered. But again, that's something that can be coached out. He can be too scheme rigid and mechanical in his approach, but I think, again, that can be coached up some, but that's actually pretty good because I think Saleh has a good scheme, and it needs to. So there's sometimes you need people that stay in their scheme. But all of that can be coached out. But all of those reasons are why I think he's going to drop to the 7th round. And again, I think this guy would be a great steal for us. So, with that, I think those 11 players, if, again, we don't do any trades, which I think we might, but if we don't, those 11 players, I think, would benefit the 49ers humongously, incredibly. These picks, of course, I'm just a fan. I can only read about what about these players, and I can catch clips of them, or if I happen to be, watch one of their games, I can do that. This isn't based on super major research. This is just how I feel. I've seen some of the plays that these guys have made, watched their clips, and I think that they would fit with the 49ers scheme and what they're trying to do. If I had all the resources that the big guys on TV, and that's what their jobs are, I might have different views. But as just a fan, this is who I think we might actually pull off, and I think we would do well with them. So, with that said, time to let everybody get back to their Easter holiday. Again, happy Easter, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hopefully I'll see some of you at the draft. I'm going to be going all 3 days, and I'm going to be handing out, see if I can get it up there, little card I had made up. Maybe I can drum up a few more subscribers that way. So we'll see how it goes. So happy Easter. Have a great rest of your weekend, and see you at the draft.